those little creeps are sure ugly.
Oh, yeah? I'll show you ugly.
In 1987, a movie was released that was so weird, so misguided, and so utterly disgusting that it has since become the stuff of legend, of course. Now, this is the story of the Garbage Pail Kids Movie, a film so infamous it's widely considered one of the worst ever made. And today we're digging through the trash to uncover 15 insane facts about its disastrous production, its tortured cast, and its truly baffling legacy. Fact 1. It was a hasty, zero-quality control cash grab. Okay, so the Garbage Pail Kids trading cards were a phenomenon, a brilliant and disgusting parody of the absurdly popular Cabbage Patch Kids dolls. The card's publisher, Topps, was swimming in cash, but also facing legal trouble from the creators of Cabbage Patch Kids. And seeing a movie as a way to cash in on the fad at its peak, Topps licensed the film rights to Atlantic Entertainment Group and then pretty much washed their hands of it. Fact 2. The director took the job for his pension. So, the director, Rod Amato, was a Hollywood veteran who started out in the 1940s and had a long TV career. By the mid-80s, he was nearing retirement and reportedly wanted to secure his Directors Guild pension benefits. So, taking on the Garbage Pail Kids movie was, by all accounts, a purely financial decision. He co-wrote a script quickly, and while the initial plan may have been a simple TV movie, the studio realized a theatrical release could sell more tickets by forcing parents to go with their kids. Now, this wasn't art. It was a bizarre form of retirement planning that resulted in a cinematic abomination and was the last film Amato ever directed. Fact 3. Mackenzie Astin's dad begged him not to do it. The film's hero, Dodger, was played by 14-year-old Mackenzie Astin, who was a rising star on the popular sitcom The Facts of Life. And his older brother, Sean Astin, had just starred in a little movie called The Goonies. So, feeling some sibling rivalry, Mackenzie was eager for his own blockbuster. And when the Garbage Pail Kids movie came along, it seemed like his chance. His father, the legendary actor John Astin, read the script and warned him it was a terrible idea. Mackenzie, however, signed on without his dad's knowledge, a decision he would later admit is a sensitive subject from his childhood. Fact 4. The kids' faces were a budget-fueled nightmare. So, the movie's horrifying animatronic masks weren't just creepy by design, they were creepy by circumstance. Made on a shoestring budget of around $1 million, the production had no spares. There was exactly one animatronic head for each of the 7 Garbage Pail Kids, meaning if a mask broke, production shut down. And to make things worse, an effects artist reportedly used standard acrylic paint on the masks, which hardened and cracked at the corners of the mouths when the performers tried to move them, creating permanent Joker-like scars. There was no money to fix this, so if you look closely, you can see the visible damage on the masks throughout the movie. Fact 5. The movie was rushed by a lawsuit. So, the very existence of the Garbage Pail Kids was a jab at the Cabbage Patch Kids, and in 1986 their parent company sued Topps for $30 million for copyright infringement. Now, the case was eventually settled out of court, with Topps agreeing to pay an undisclosed sum and redesign their logo to look less like the Cabbage Patch brand. And this legal battle, combined with the franchise's peak popularity, fueled the take-the-money-and-run attitude that defined the entire project. Fact 6. The suits were sweltering death traps. So, the film was shot during summer in a San Fernando Valley warehouse where temperatures soared past 100 degrees. The heavy, sweltering suits were torture chambers with severely limited oxygen. It's been said that a paramedic had to be on set, timing takes just to make sure no one suffocated. To make matters worse, the warehouse's metal roof allegedly interfered with the radio controls for the animatronics, causing the eyes to spin wildly without warning, making an already hellish job even more chaotic. Fact 7. It had a breakneck post-production schedule. So this low-budget mess was on a shockingly fast track to release. Principal photography wrapped in late June 1987, and the movie hit theaters just 2 months later, in August. And this incredibly rushed schedule from the end of shooting to theatrical release ensured there was absolutely no time for second thoughts, reshoots, or any meaningful quality control. Fact 8. Phil Fondacaro allegedly quit mid-shoot for Willow. One of the most persistent on-set rumours is that Phil Fondacaro, the actor playing Greaser Greg, quit halfway through production to take a role in the much bigger fantasy film Willow. And the legend says he was secretly replaced by his brother. However, this has been disputed by co-star Arturo Gil, who played Windy Winston. Gil said he couldn't recall anyone leaving and that the vibe on set was just to get the job done and move on. And the truth remains a bit of a mystery, buried in the chaos of the shoot. Fact 9. The voices were completely disconnected from the bodies. The weird disconnect you feel from the kids on screen goes deeper than just the puppetry. For most of them, the voice actors were totally separate from the physical performers. The legendary voice actor Jim Cummings, known as Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, provided the voices for both Greaser Greg and Nat Nerd. Other characters like Messy Tessie were also dubbed in post, and director Rod Amato's own daughter, Chloe, voiced the disgusting Foul Phil. Arturo Gil, Windy Winston, was one of the few actors who recorded his own lines, often alone in a booth, adding to the disjointed feel. Fact 10. Mackenzie Astin and his co-star broke up during filming. Now, for the young leads, life imitated art in the most awkward way possible. Mackenzie Astin was dating his co-star, Katie Barbary, who played his love interest, Tangerine, and had even recommended her for the part. But their real-life romance didn't survive the bizarre production, and the two broke up about halfway through filming. Fact 11. The critical reception was beyond brutal. So when it was released, the Garbage Pail Kids movie wasn't just disliked, it was despised. Critics seemed to compete for who could write the most vicious review. Karen James of the New York Times famously called it too repulsive for children or adults of any age. The film holds a stunning 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was so legendarily bad, it earned a Golden Raspberry Award nomination for Worst New Star for the 7 Garbage Pail Kids themselves. Fact 12. It was a certified box office bomb. So the studio's hope that parents would reluctantly buy tickets was a spectacular miscalculation. The film opened in only 374 theaters and scraped together a pathetic $661,512 on its opening weekend. Its total domestic run topped out at just under $1.6 million. And while that seems like it covers the $1 million budget, when you factor in marketing and distribution, the film was a major financial failure for Atlantic Releasing Corporation, contributing to a string of flops that saw the company go out of business a few years later. Fact 13. A sequel was actually considered. As insane as it sounds, producers briefly tempted fate with the idea of a sequel. There are rumours that the script for Garbage Pail Kids Movie 2 was written, and the director Rod Amato was approached to return. Amato wisely declined. Ultimately, the first film's disastrous performance and the studio's financial troubles killed any real chance of a sequel, and the idea was permanently tossed in the trash, where it belonged. Fact 14. It could have been a horror movie. Now, the bizarre musical comedy we got could have been something much, much darker.
So come on, guys, no, it ain't smart. We'll borrow tools to do our part. We can do anything by working with each other. Step up. We can do anything by working with each other.
Before Rod Amato was hired, effects artist John Carl Beekler, who worked on films like Ghoulies, was considered to direct. His vision was a straight-up horror film. In his version, the kids would have been born from radioactive sludge that contaminated a garbage can full of broken dolls, turning them into a gang of serial killers. Now, given that this was a year before Child's Play, a horror movie about killer dolls could have been a huge hit, but instead we got the family-friendly fashion designer plot. Fact 15. It became a so bad it's good cult classic. Now, for years, the film was just a cinematic stink bomb left to rot. But thanks to the internet, VHS collectors, and bad movie fans, the Garbage Pail Kids movie found a second life. Its sheer incompetence and baffling creative choices have turned it from a failure into a celebrated piece of cult cinema. The people who made it have come to terms with its legacy. Arturo Gil joked that he thought the film would be locked up in some dark vault and forgotten, but is amazed by its staying power. But what do you think? Is this the worst movie ever made, or a misunderstood masterpiece? Let me know in the comments and tell me your favourite terrible 80s movie ever made. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.